growing, adapting,
Yeah.
like what we want to help everyone else to do: grow, adapt, improve, make some money.
Yeah. Welcome into Title's podcast. I feel like we've been talking about this for quite a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, you've got me on board. I love talking to equipment normally, talking to cameras, but yep, today I'm at the podcast for very good reasons. We believe, don't we, that podcasts are growing, even though they've been around for a good maybe 20 years. This is a great time to start, specifically video podcasts. Mm-hmm. We've been releasing some new videos, haven't we, about podcasts and video podcasts and what they can do for creatives, for businesses. So yeah, I think it's great to be on here, getting the voice out, also to let people know who we are, as well as just voices on a screen.
Exactly. I think let's maybe go back to that. Let's introduce ourselves as well. No, it's great. So my name is Nikolai.
I'm Paul.
Paul. We're both from Title Productions. To be honest, we've been working together for many years now.
6, 7 years. Yeah,
7 years. Yeah,
it's lovely. Yeah, started off small, got bigger, growing, adapting.
Yeah.
Like what we want to help everyone else to do: grow, adapt, improve, make some money.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think this episode today is going to be about podcasting, just because I think podcasting, and as we discussed and a lot of people know, I think it's such as a powerful medium and a great way to communicate messages that is quite relaxed, because you don't need to memorize text.
Yeah.
You can just literally share your knowledge and trying to connect with others.
It's a good hybrid of creativity, because you can be artistic. It's audio, it's a medium. If you wanted to, you could have scripts, but at the same time, I think it gives a bit more of a real personality, because when we're exposed like this, as much as we want to try, it's not, I think your personality comes across, but I think that's important. Mm-hmm. I think personality is what's important online. You don't have to be a superstar, is what we're going to try and tell people, I think, over these next few months and over this year. And you can work with your own skills to within your own budgets to make something really good, especially, like I said, video podcast. You got places like ourselves with a studio, but you can build your own studio. Throughout our video series this year, we're going to be showing a lot about making podcasts and films on budgets, which I think is really important. As we've learned ourselves, money's tight in the industry, times are tough. So you've got to use the tools, the resources and everything that will work for you. And I think cost-effective wise, I think video podcasting is one of the best ways, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. I totally agree with you. I think a podcast is very, because I mean, we're doing video podcasts that can be distributed in YouTube, but realistic, there is a lot of people that they do just audio podcasting as well. I mean, when I was doing research in terms of podcasts, one of the ones that really stand out, it was a lady, I think she was 60s, 70s, and the entire podcast, it did quite well. I'm going to find out the name and share with you guys afterwards, but it was that lady, basically, she was just recording the podcasts and the airports, and it's just literally a conversation with some other people, and it's just
endless journeys, days traveling. Yeah, it's a lot of journey ones. Yeah, I think COVID really helped with podcasting business. I think a lot of celebrities specifically turned to podcasting. I know that since then there's been a lot of podcasts about people talking about past series, history, music. You can create crime, fiction.
Yeah.
So bizarrely, our podcasts and our creative podcasts about making creative podcasts. But but I think will help a lot of people out there.
Yeah. And I think of course we'll be creating more content that is very specific, like how to do it, where to buy the equipment and things like that. But just as a kind of initial type of podcast, I think is if we have to say kind of the structure, I probably would say it's the same structure as you doing anything else, in the sense of communicating. You need to understand your niche and understand your audience. You need to have something to say and understand who you're telling that to, because different podcasts will resonate with different people. That's why the opportunity is massive.
Yeah, I think people look relaxed when listening to podcasts. I think it's a case of being a little bit more casual, because people might be vacuuming. But podcasts the name, of course, comes podcasts from the iPod, doesn't it? But they're now available on a lot of platforms, many platforms like Spotify, on Google, Deezer. And I think, what have I seen lately? You get a lot of podcasts on Audible, especially older ones. I mean, my original favorite video podcast was Ricky Gervais Show. I don't know if you've seen that. So they were original audio podcasts that started on XFM, turned into podcasts. And then since, in the later years, Comedy Central bought them out and created an animation with it. And that's what got me hooked. So now I listen to the audio podcast from the visual. So yeah, there's a lot of power in podcast.
Yeah, I do listen to Logan. I think it's pretty good. The way he asking questions as well, and yeah, there is other few podcasts that I listen to. But I think this is the advantage of podcasts. Even that it starts as audio now, you can have podcasting videos. It's still a mainly audio channel as well. So a lot of people, there is that flexibility of listen to podcasts, but you can be doing other things.
Yeah.
And I think our generations, they love to multitask.
Yeah.
That is just natural. You end up doing few different things, listen to something. Yeah.
That's everything. You can put a podcast to match your mood. If you're driving to work and you're stressed, you can put a relaxation podcast on. You can, or if you're looking for entertainment, you put a ghost story or a film podcast on there. So yeah, we're pretty chuffed with that. And yeah, I think going forward, we're going to cover how you can make your own, what topics you should be covering, and things like that, and how to basically create not just for short films, but for a business, for individuals, people who are looking to influence. But yeah, I mean, you already do a lot of video podcasts for businesses, don't we? I mean, how are they finding it?
Yeah, we started and again, just going back to the kind of the vision that we have for 2025. I've been saying to the team and to everyone that the key word for 2025 is intention. We need to be able to be intentional with every single thing that we do. We need to be able to be intentional with everything that we do. And also, I think is about the ability to really understand your audience and find different ways to reach to your audience as well. Yeah. And podcast is definitely one of them. And I feel like a lot of business are always looking for cost-effective ways to communicate. Not necessarily, well, cost-effective because price is in everything, but also true ways to communicate with their audience, because people that often listen to podcasts are people that sometimes they need a more detailed information.
They want a story. A story, and it's a way of instead of just receiving, say, listening to the news. Even the news is a story in a way. It's constructed for entertainment. So yeah, a podcast. As strange as it is, it's factual. Like we're factual today, talking to you, but it's meant to be entertaining. Yeah. That's what we find us listening. But also, we're not just talking for the sake of talking. We think about you. We think about why we're here and what this matches. And I guess that leads us on to, I mean, a couple of the other things which can help people with creating those podcasts. And I guess one of the big words floating around at the minute is AI.
Yes.
I think people shouldn't be worried about AI. It's only going to get bigger, I believe. We was discussing before, similar to video podcasts and the way they're going to work together. You could go into an AI document now and ask it to create me a podcast about this topic, and within seconds, it won't be perfect. It'll give you a breakdown.
Yeah.
So quick, and then you can get your creative juices flowing to work with that. So yeah, I think
as the disclaimer, we will be making a podcast just about AI as well.
Yeah.
That will go into more details, because I think we went through kind of a specific journey through AI as well. How we implementing things like that.
Okay, that's its own podcast, because we need to make people out there not worry too much about it taking jobs. We're still here, we're still going strong, and you've got to really utilize it, same as we're utilizing the environment now with the podcast room as well as the studio that we have. But this is a great way of sharing information really quick, and it's the same with AI. How do you want to share your information? How do you want to share your story, your business as quick as possible? I think that kind of tech all meshes together, yeah.
Exactly. So you mentioned in terms of topics for podcasts as well. So you mentioned that you're going to share some topics.
Yeah, we've done a couple already, so we're looking forward to them coming. I personally, being a writer at Title Productions, hoping to get out there, is I'm going to try and teach some basic writing skills, not just how to write your full script, but how to sell it, how to just come up with ideas on the fly, and just don't overcomplicate yourselves. It's about just getting stuff down, getting stuff written, getting stuff filmed, and just getting stuff out there. But what I'm going to do is, that may sound easy for me to say, but I'm going to give you a few little tips and tricks over the next few months, just very, very basic ideas, but just to get you started, just get your brain thinking. But again, touching on how AI and how in 2025, really, story matters. Story matters more than anything, because of influencers that are out there now taking over. So let's say from celebrities as presenters, like you used to see on adverts back in the day, a lot of celebrities, but now influencers are taking over.
They're not new celebrities in a sense. Yeah.
Musicians are now finding new places to begin. They're no longer going to studios, pitching ideas. Studios, broadcasters, streamers, they're coming to you. So if you can put a digital asset out there, that such as a video podcast, or just a small influencer video, you are going to get people coming to you because you're going to have that proof. And I think that's what's
the audience.
important. You probably know better than me about that one, but yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna finish this episode from here. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.